and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Bang, bang, bang. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Another fantastic week here at MCG. Got a lot coming for you, man. I don't know why, I don't know if it's just me, but that intro to the show, it just gets me hyped. It gets me there every single time. But boys, excited to get to another week of streaming with you guys, man. It's going to be a great week on MCG. Today we have our first interview coming up in about 10 minutes. So we'll get through our first interview and then we'll just chill. We'll just chop it up on stream, talk about trades that we're taking, how we're positioning on chain. I've been a little AFK, not semi-active last couple of days. Have some stuff IRL going on that I need to take care of. So haven't been able to keep up with as much happening on chain, but got back last night, started to get back in the swing of things, and just diving into markets again and seeing some opportunities out there, cross-chain opportunities. I'll add that as well. And there's a lot happening. I mean, a lot that has happened over the weekend, but a lot that's happened here in just the last couple of minutes. You see the title. Ansem joins Launchpad Wars. Ansem joins the Launchpad Wars and everything. So that Launchpad is just absolutely crazy. But yeah, I mean, great stream ahead, great week ahead for MCG. Real quick before we get started, though, let me go ahead and show the schedule for the week. Let me show the schedule for the week real quick. Let me pull that up. Bang. So here is the schedule for the week. And maybe I do this so you guys can actually see. Then I'll zoom in, make sure you guys can see that as well. And I'm gonna RT the stream. So make sure you like and retweet the schedule. But today we have Foss Protocol on. They're an on-chain intelligence layer building on Robinhood. So excited to have a conversation with them, see what they're working on over there. I know Motion is another big project on Robinhood that's attracted a lot of attention, like some of the guys at Blockworks. I saw that they also caught wind of them. And just this guy here, he just seems to be kind of picking up in terms of, traction on CT and whatnot. So excited to talk to them later on this week. We got Hebo, projects like Aeon, Hooker. We got Meteora. We got the guys from Long.xyz coming on as well. So, dude, we got a nice little stacked week. If there's anyone else that you guys want us to interview, definitely let us know. But excited to go through some of these interviews. Before we get started with everything that we're about to break down, we're going to talk about the Ansem Launchpad wars. We're going to talk about everything going on chain here. But before we do, you already know what we got to do. Housekeeping real quick. So let's all go to @MCG Live on Twitter. Real quick, let's just take 2 seconds. It's about 150 of us in here. So let's go ahead and go to @MCG Live. As you know, we're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m.-ish. We're going to get better at that. Don't you guys worry. But 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday to Friday, covering everything that's happening on chain, bringing the best founders, the most cracked devs, the most interesting projects, so that way we can break them down and share that with you all. Thank you guys so much for 14.1K. I think this is about to be 14.2. Growth has been insane. So really appreciate the love and support. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. If you scroll down to our pinned tweet, you want to go ahead and hit like and hit RT on that as well. Make sure you like and retweet the stream. Let everyone know that MCG is live. We have a lot going on here. We even dropped our latest interview with Shaw. I don't know if you guys saw that there, but we dropped our latest interview with Shaw. Crazy conversation, to be honest. I'm about 60%. I was watching it pre-stream here this morning, and dude, I mean, it's just been a crazy story to see. So be sure to watch that as well. Awesome interview. But that's MCG live. Let's now get into that's the housekeeping rather. Now let's get into everything that's happening on chain. First, let's just start with the Ansem.io, huh? Now, I'm not going to pull up the website. You guys can go to the website and you can get an idea of why I'm not doing that here on stream. But we saw that just about 30 minutes ago before stream, Ansem launched Ansem.io. And basically all the fees will go to buying and burning Ansem. Now, I thought for a moment that the tokens would be paired with Ansem as well, but oh my gosh, dude, this website is absolutely horrendous. But yeah, I definitely cannot show the website on stream. Well, I'll show this part of the website. This is the only part of the website I can show, but this is Ansem.io. Just launched here, and I'm going to go ahead and flip back because that website is cooked. I mean, some of the tokens launched on there are kind of cooked. But it seems like everyone is kind of into launching a Launchpad, if I do say so myself. We even saw that HAC, he actually came out with an interesting tweet here. He said, I should have realized Robinhood chain was due for a pullback when two existing launch pads, which both already have a token, teamed up to launch, you guessed it, another launch pad that will have its own token. So, launch pad wars are still in full swing. I think this is probably a great moment for us to check on the Ansem chart. We've been talking about the Ansem chart in the Discord. And I basically told the Discord that, hey, look, we're breaking out of a multi-week range. But let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So here is the Ansem chart. Obviously, off of the news, it's starting to bounce. Literally, Mr. Nice at this point, when is MCG Launchpad? Yeah, never. Dude, I don't know, man. Another Launchpad. Holy moly. But yeah, and we have Ansem.io. We have the Ansem token kind of breaking out. You guys kind of see the range that I have. Marked out here between the purple lines, but I've just been kind of chilling in Ansem. I mean, I told you guys just a little bit ago, I think it was last week, that we had this golden pocket here, and the retest of that level has just been like pretty much perfect, man. Like, we've retested the golden pocket multiple times. We've tested those lows multiple times, and it just seems like it's ready to make a trip to 500 mil plus, make a trip to new all-time highs. So not fading Ansem at this point. And then two, we also in connection to Ansem have the Ansem hackathon coming soon as well. So we actually saw that Decentralized or Die, he also posted something around the Ansem hack, basically a hackathon that would include Elon, some people, someone from Solana Foundation, from Delphi Ventures, Mert from Helios, Chris Gilbert from Squire, Coliseum, Elon from the Pump team, so Claw Pump as well. So a ton of people coming out to basically judge this hackathon. And a lot of these are like low cap tokens. Like, these are all going to be launched tokens. So it's going to be very interesting to see like what, if there are any like opportunities from a price perspective, from a trade perspective, that really come out of this. But as you can see, the obvious play is Claw Pump itself, insane pumpamentals. LP is 170K, 70% is out of circulation, and they have 0 FOMO holders. So there's a lot there because they're partnering with, it looks like he's partnering with Claw Pump on this hackathon. Let's see here. He also mentions which tokens will people gamble on winning. The really nice part is that you don't have too many yet to speculate on. And he basically like goes through a few that he feels like are really nice. I've been doing a little bit of trenching on Solana this last couple of weeks, last 2 weeks. So yeah, he just basically goes through some of the early projects that are launched here that could do really well. Shinjuku, I saw that one. It's an X402 project, and it looks like the Claw Pump guys are really bullish on them. But he just kind of outlines the playbook, and a lot of people are saying to kind of you kind of have to have exposure to this like Ansem momentum, because essentially you have this chart, this Ansem chart, and my goodness, we broke the news live here on stream, and people are actually starting to pick this up. So crazy to see that. But you now have this Ansem token that's basically destined to a bill plus. But then you also have this entire like ecosystem around Ansem, or this entire opportunity set alongside Ansem. So we just talked about Claw Pump. Let's take a look at Claw Pump and see how that see what the momentum is looking like on that side. Let's look here. So here is Claw Pump. Let's go to price. And this actually, we talked about Claw Pump a little bit because I talked about this pivot area. We obviously know the pivots more so play out on Solana than anything, but the pivots played out really nice. It was in deep value territory between like on our fibs And it looks like it wants to just kind of trend higher. So that's one piece of exposure that you can get to this whole like wave of Ansem outside of just the Ansem token itself. Another one is Manlet. Manlet, wow. Wow, wow. I was just looking at this. Holy crap. This went to a mil. This went to a 1.3 mil. Wow. I didn't realize that. I was actually like watching it as it was let me see. Let me go this. Yes. So I was actually watching it like this because essentially you had this down channel and basically looking like it was bull flagging, but it looked like it really wanted to break out, but it ended up doing both. It broke down to 1.2 mil, then broke out as well. Let me just go down to like the 30-minute. Let me just get a sense because I didn't want to buy right as it was pushing up against resistance. I was going to wait for it to pull back. And we had a meeting this morning, and I guess during the meeting it just pulled back and then it started to rip. That's crazy. Okay. So that's another piece of exposure that we can get, that we can, kind of speculate on Manlet. We know that to be the token on Stonk Fun, which is paired with the Ansem token. So I think a lot of things that are, as Ansem starts to go up, you have this entire ecosystem around it that gets lifted up. And I think tokens that operate within that ecosystem, tokens like Claw Pump, Manlet, those things will obviously do well. So there's that. Let's see. It's 12:30. Our guests aren't here yet. So we're gonna continue to riff on just for a bit until they show up. But man, this Ansem looks primed for new all-time highs, bro. Looks absolutely freaking ready for new all-time highs. So looking forward to that. I've also been in Ansem. Just been kind of chilling and holding it. Let me see here. All right. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm up very nicely. I bought on the breakout, so up very, very nicely on that. Mr. Nice, could you shoot me the Discord link? Yes, yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I got you. I got you. In fact, I might even do it while we're on stream at some point. I got you. Don't even worry about it. Um, what else? What else do we want to go through? We got the Ansem Launchpad. Another thing that we wanted to go through was looks like Stonk Fun. Um, looks like they have a new look. New logo. Um, they said new banner redesign. I wonder if it's to their website as well. All right, so here's some Stonk Fun updates. 2% fee tier added under standard launch, optional flag on API, added a fee claiming API endpoint, built out a new feature for reward launches that's currently being tested. Fix They fixed some back end stuff. We got some branding out. It looks like Stomp Fun has really, really making some meaningful changes. Let's real quick look at the eco and let's see how it's wow. Okay, what a pullback on Stonk, 6.6 mil. Didn't realize it was at 6.6 mil market cap. Have I touched based eco? Definitely not. I'm sorry, man. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just I'm not I'm gonna watch from the sidelines and cheer on all the homies that are looking to make it in the base trenches, but I won't be involved. I won't be involved. What are some tokens that went off on base season? I think it was like based cat. The fact that you have to come up with base cat versus cash cat, like. And the other thing is base cat. I think that the liquidity there was just dog water, bro. Let's see. Real quick, base cat. I forget. It was called Base Cat, wasn't it, Mr. Nice? Yeah, LFI. Yes, and LFI both got a follow from Kobe. LFI, like the lean fi guys? Hold on, let's check their chart real quick. Dude, Manlet is taking off. Manlet is taking off. Oh wow, yeah, lean fi. They got a nice little pump on the chart there. Nothing too crazy. Wonder how that looks on the daily. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Base cat. Yeah. Okay. Let me dude, the liquidity on this thing, bro, it's 11.4 million market cap, and the liquidity is, well, on one pool it was 53K, but I guess the main pool is like 400K or something like that. I don't know. Liquidity just seems kind of garbage. All right, so here's the base cat chart. Let me pull that up. There we go. So here's a base cat chart. I mean, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. It went from 700K to 20 mil. Wow, 27x off the bottom. I guess it was launched on the 15th. Just okay, so it was launched just a couple days ago. I didn't really know what made it like pop off. Didn't know what would make it pop off like that. Um, I don't know if it was like a Kobe interaction or what have you, but yeah, I'm not touching base. I'm not touching base with an S with a 10-foot pole. I'm sorry. Like I'm good. I think there are much more cleaner opportunities out there than that. I mean, we can even go to Solana and look through a few of these charts on Solana, and I can point out a few that look really nice. Um, Let me see here. Let's see here. So let's take one of these charts down real quick. Let's just do this. Delete that. Give me some space here for another. So this is the stonk chart. This is the stonk chart sitting at about 7.5 million. I think the ecosystem looks really, really solid. It's shaping up well. Stock, we just covered their recent updates. Their recent updates to their Launchpad, and looks like they have some nice branding going on as well. So it's at about just under 7 mil market cap. Um, Ecosystem's looking good, man. Dude, literally, we just talked about Manlet, bro, and Manlet is already pumping off of our coverage just a few minutes ago. So that's good. I'm still needing I'm still needing to see like an ecosystem wide pump. I think eventually it will come. Here's the thing though, like I think Manlet is like a really good bet because you're able to get exposure from the Stonk Fund side of things, and you're able to get exposure to the Ansem tailwinds that we were talking about earlier because Manlet is within the Ansem ecosystem. So I think you get the best of both worlds with Manlet, and it's not just like another sub 50K ticker that potentially could die or could take a while to play out. I think Manlet kind of gives you all of the exposure that you need. Um, Obviously, there's a few other good bets as well, but I think Manlet is for me is probably outside of the Stonk token itself. I think it's one of the ones that are worth watching on the Launchpad. So that's the breakdown for Stonk there. Real quick, let me also do this. Perfect. Let me just had to make sure I can switch that over. There we go. Perfect. Base app was bull posting. Oh, they're bull posting base cat. Base cat ran like that because Kobe followed, base app followed, then Coinbase employee followed the base cat account. So Coinbase, are they now criming things? Is that what they've resorted to? Like, you know, um, Brian Armstrong has always been, very against, like, he changed his PFP back. He doesn't want to do anything to even like touch the trenches remotely. And all of a sudden, we're seeing all this momentum come out for base. I mean, look, I really hope that they use this as an opportunity to, gain back momentum on chain, because at the end of the day, they had like a really dedicated user base, like despite being treated like nothing for the last couple of years. They still had, I should say, they still had a really dedicated group of traders, a really dedicated community that was still like attached to base. But you know I think they've had many attempts to dominate, and I think they fumbled every single one. And who knows, maybe this is another attempt that could result in something decent, but I kind of doubt it. Attempting to seems they're trying to follow Vlad's playbook. Really? Man, Vlad's Vlad, they're trying to follow Vlad's playbook. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. Let's see real quick. GMCG Ave, GMCG bro. Good to see you on stream. One of our loyal YouTube watchers. What was I gonna look up? Surplus. Let's look at surplus real quick. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what they're talking about. 4 mil. GMCG. All right, so let's zoom out on this real quick. I don't know if I trust. I don't know if I trust. So here's the thing. Like, I don't know if I trust surplus, because literally the dev sold like tokens on the chart, and I just find it really hard to like get back into projects. And unless, I mean, maybe there was a good reason for it, but I don't know. I just kind of fade it, man. I'm a big fader. Like, I fade 90% of things that I come across, because like, I'm always there's always someone in my DMs, someone in my comments, there's someone that I'm talking to in like group chats. Everyone's like always like, "Oh, this is good. You should check this out, chill. You should check this out, chill." And I just try to like fade most things, because most things typically don't work out. Um and I've done really good fading a lot of things. I don't know if, and there are certain things that I have faded, and like many of us, we just lost. There's like that was a missed opportunity. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know how much I'd be interested in a base play right now. Real quick, let's look at the base ecosystem. Let's see what's popping off there. I have a few charts that like I still, you know, just go back to and watch a little bit, just to make sure. I'm gonna add I'm gonna add surplus to that list. But let's look through some charts here. Repo, obviously a great project, friends of the show. I think Repo will go on to do massively great things. But they pulled back with all of the base eco FUD. Um, Pod was also one that we had on the show. The token did really well. We covered it on this breakout here, and it did well, almost a 3x, and until it cooled off. I think that's more of like a longer term play, though. Like, I think it's mostly like an investment type of thing. Um, if you're looking at something like Pod, you should like view that with a long term mindset. Um, let's see. Let's see. I don't looks like LeanFi. I mean, LeanFi is like, it's making an attempt. It's making an attempt to come back. It's making an attempt, holding some of these lows really well. There's like this, long accumulation zone here on LeanFi. And from their appearance on the show, a few months ago, I really loved what they were doing. I will say that. Like I really love what they were doing. I think the main concern I have for base charts is just, base itself. I think base has tried and failed so many times. I've kind of like just want to see them try and succeed. And then after that success, I'll be then bullish on their tailwinds for their eco. But right now, you're fighting against the current, I feel like, on base. Or at least that's just my personal opinion. Um let's just look at the banker chart, man. Banker chart is kind of cooked, man, because deployer, I mean, not to say it's cooked, maybe it's not, but like we were talking about earlier, deployer, you have your launch pad on base banker, and I think banker was on Robinhood as well. They launched GME and did all these things, and now he's launching with I think it Sushi Swap or something. But in partnership with another major player, he launched another launch pad with another token. So I just don't think that like bodes well for the old token. So banker, suffered a huge sell-off here just a few days ago. Huge sell-off here on the news of the launch of that pools.trade platform. I wonder how they'll do. I wonder how they'll do. I think, they launched right before a major pullback. Yeah, same here. I don't think it was the best idea, Mr. Nice. I really don't. Yeah, with sushi. Yeah. I really don't think it was the best move. But I mean, it's like everybody wants to launch a launch pad at some point. You have to kind of ask yourself, okay, like, is it too saturated of a market? Or like how can you meaningfully like attract traders to your ecosystem? Like obviously you see all the struggles that other people have, but I guess the pot's too big to give up on that dream, right? Like a launch pad that wins it can be a big win for any team. I think Pump Fun really showed us that. Looks like here we have a nice little breakout on knock. I don't know the like supply dynamics, so I don't know like how much of this is FDV or not, but Knox seems to be breaking out. This has been going down for pretty much like a month, or no, almost 2 months. It's been going down for almost 2 months. Really, I actually I lied. It's been going down since June, since the beginning of June. So a few months it's been in this downtrend. And I wonder I wonder where this hits. Bro, I'll be telling y'all about these fibs, man. Just throw a fib on it and you'll be just fine. But yeah, nice little pullback on knock. Also another project that we had on stream that did really well, or that looks really good. I think knock can actually be something pretty huge. Again, just not sure about the ecosystem. But from what I understand, Knock and Pod are both like kind of sleeping giants on base. Knock and Pod, and then Repo as well. Knock, Pod, and Repo. Let's actually move those charts to the top of the list, shall we? Go ahead and reorganize some of these charts, and maybe I do a little bit of that with you guys today. Like I like put some charts together. Like let's put like some assets together. Maybe let's do one for base. Let's do one for Robinhood. Let's do one for Ansem. Um, let's do some for the Ansem eco. Let's do one for the Stonk eco as well. So let's put a few things together. I got to organize my charts anyway. That's honestly like what I like to do when I like come back from like time off the market a little bit, like just slide back, take a look at everything, what's running, what's not. And I also have a few B&B stuff for you guys as well. All right, so we have the top 3 here on base, Repo, Pod, Knock. Those look really good. Serve is also another one that's kind of cooled off a little bit. It broke out uh it broke out there, and yeah, I wonder something real quick. Yeah, it looks like they broke out here. When you look at the old chart, you look, there's like the old chart like has like, it started down here, had a huge run up, cooled off, huge run up, cooled off, and it did like this. And it did a falling wedge, and this falling wedge end up breaking out and doing what the chart is doing, doing what the chart sees here. So from a chart perspective, this is looking like a decent little candidate. I'll also bump lead fi ahead of serve. I'll bump lean fi ahead of serve. Um, I'm closely watching Dot. From what I don't have any research or anything like that. The last werewolf GMCG brother. Good seeing you again, our loyal our loyal Twitch viewer. We appreciate you. Um, yeah, from what I understand, Dot is another like sort of like alpha project on base. I view it more so as a dark horse though. I have no idea. I have no idea what it is, but that's how I'd classify. And maybe I don't know where surplus exactly fits from. If I look at this from purely from a chart perspective, it does look like, it's tightening. Maybe it does something like that. Maybe it just finishes accumulating, breaks out, retests, and goes. Maybe it does that, but like I have no fundamental like look on no fundamental read on surplus. So I got to look into that, and maybe I check back in with you guys on that. But that's basically what like base is showing me right now from a momentum standpoint. Knock seems to be the biggest thing. Let's add base cat to this. Let's add base cat. And real quick, let me go to the base page. Let's sort it by volume, trending 24 hours. Let's make sure we sort it by volume. So there was base cat, and I felt like there was something else. There was like some sort of beta play. So there's some beta that launched. Oh, Mr. Nice, you'll put together a thread bet. If you put it together, bro, I'll cover it. I'll cover it on stream. I'll cover it on stream for sure. Okay, so for now, I guess that's it. That's it for the that's it for the base side of things. All right. So that's base. Wow. Was that me? Me just now? Holy crap. Let me have some water, I guess. Have some water real quick. It was PvPing with it from an old Kobe tweet. Man, all right. Had to have some water, bros, because my voice was super cracking. All right, cool. So that's base. Let's look at some utility stuff across Solana. I have some interesting things to cover here. So number one, Squire. I think Squire is a pretty obvious bet. It's coming up a little off the bottom here. It came up, pumped about 2.5x, just a little over 2.5x off the bottom. This sell-off right here on Squire was basically because he said that he was launching another token. What the degens failed to do was read the white paper and see that it was a commodity token, something that would actually add to Squire's ecosystem and not something that would take away from the main token. It's not like it's a commodity asset based on, I think it was like built on compute or something like that. We got to have Chris back on the show to get the full lowdown of what exactly he's building. But it seems like, people are like, oh, okay, this FUD is overblown. Time to run this back. And it's been starting to pick up steam here as well. It's now sitting just a little bit above a million market cap right here. So I'm actually thinking that we end up trading higher on Squire over the coming days and weeks. So that's one that I'm interested in on Solana. I saw TCG was trying to make a move, but didn't really hold it. We talked about Claw Pump already. Uh, this Penguin XBT thing, I don't know what it is, but it seems like Claw Pump is really interested in this one. So off of the Claw Pump tweet, this has actually started to pick up pick up a little bit of steam. And I think this will also be included in the Ansem like hackathon. So I think that's really it. As far as things that I see on Solana. Maybe real quick, let's just look at the meme coin landscape real quick. We looked at Ansem already. We took a look at Manlet already. Um, yeah, man, look at this. Look at that. Look at that Darth Maul type of candle right there. But cool. We pretty much discussed all that stuff already. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Robinhood. Let's take a look at the entire eco real quick. And again, we're just gonna put some stuff together. Looks like AI from long.xyz is cooling. That took an even bigger dip than what I was expecting. Like, I thought this was gonna keep going, I'm not gonna lie. Some of these bottoms on that were forming on Robinhood, I just expected them to keep going, but maybe I should have guessed this was coming up at, an all-time high level. Maybe it's a great place for it to like cool off a little bit here. Um, but man, didn't expect that on AI, but we have them coming on later this week, so excited to see what they're building. I think they're also doing some interesting things there. Nicholas Anderson, welcome to the show, loyal YouTube watcher. Delta and Prism will be going through some of those as well. So that's AI. Um, Meowshi, this is dead, so we can go ahead and delete that. Frong seems to be losing momentum as well. I think here's the play for Robinhood right now. And let me take a note of this so we can catch a clip off this real quick. Think and by the way, guys, I'm solo. I'm solo today, so bear with me. But I think here's the play for Robinhood right now. Here's the play. Keep an eye on all of the most relevant charts on Robinhood. So think of the OG runners, right? Like the tendies. Think of the juggernauts. Think of like all of the kind of OG runners, the cash cats. Think of all these like major winners on Robinhood. Make a list of them. Make a list of every token that means anything. I think AI is one to keep an eye on. I think things like Wallet are good to keep an eye on. I think things like Juggernaut, and we'll go through the list. Things like AI, I think we'll go through the full list here. But the cool off is now everything is pulling back. Let's wait for it to for things to kind of find a bottom, and we'll see reversal signs. Anything we see a reversal sign on, that's what you bid. That's what you bid. So just looking here, I'm going to prioritize on this list. I'm going to prioritize AI. Let's put that at the top. Looks like Brody came all the way back. I mean, we caught the head and shoulders last week, the breakout. Nice little 5x for the boys. My bad, 6x for the boys. But now it's pulled back all the way into that zone. You said that AI is forming a cup and handle. Potentially, Potentially. Let's just erase all this stuff. Let's just erase all this stuff real quick. And let's go on a higher time frame. Let's go on a higher time frame. Yeah, potentially. Potentially what I'd be looking for is just throw a fib on it and let's see if it holds this golden pocket area or if it like trades back down into this, because right now this is looking like this kind of looks like where it's headed. Not even gonna lie to you. Cup and handle potentially, because you can draw cup and handles like you can draw a couple of cup and handles like this, boom, like that. And let's thicken these, bam. You can draw a cup and handle like a cup and handle like this, where it's like the pullback though is seeming a little bit steeper to me. Um, but you can also draw a cup and handle like this. Like some people draw the cup and then for the handle, they like to do that. So depending on like how you view a cup and handle, I guess but for me, like I'm not even gonna look at that side of it. I'm just gonna look at, all right, we just had a move off of the bottom. Off of the bottom, we had a crazy 10x off the stone cold bottom. We're now pulling back. The entire ecosystem is pulling back. I want to look at where are some areas of interest on some of the top tokens on Robinhood chain. And I think that's the play here is look at top tokens on Robinhood chain and just look at where the R&R is the most attractive. And then plan according to the most attractive opportunities that you can see. And I think if AI pulls all the way back to sub 4 mil, I'm smashing. I'm smashing, brothers. I'm smashing that. That actually sounded a little bit more crazier than it needed to. But you know, if it's forming a nice little bottom down here, sub 4 mil, I think that's a really good buy zone because you also have the pivot there. We have been testing out the pivots on Robinhood. We'll see if they last, but looks like this is breaking the pivot right there. So I think just deep values is really good. Just I think that's really good. So AI, Strong seems to be losing momentum alongside Robinhood. Let me refresh my page here. Frong has been losing a little bit of momentum. I think overall the Uniswap Launchpad itself has been losing momentum as well. So I'm not really sure what saves this. I'm not sure what pools.trade, what the guys at Uniswap have in mind. Um, the reality is you need to maintain attention. You need to keep attention, right? And so far, Uniswap, they dropped trades.pools. The bullish announcement came where they're gonna, use all the fees to perpetually buy back the token, the OG tokens, like the test tokens. And that's what caused that candle right there. But as you can see, it was sold off immediately. There was no momentum. It was just like, oh wow, bullish announcement, and then a complete sell-off of all of that news. So just I think it's been respecting this downtrend here, but honestly not a crazy amount of charting that you can do on this one. Because again, it's kind of like I expected it to break out a lot sooner. You guys might have saw my post over the weekend, and I don't know, maybe that's just maybe I was too locked out. Maybe I wasn't locked in enough to be able to to see exactly what was happening, but definitely some momentum lost here on this launch pad. And honestly, not a bunch of charting I can do on this as well. I mean, I think we just stick to the fibs. We're in a deep value zone. I think what we have to do is just like see evidence of attention flowing back to the eco. I mean, it's not just a tweet that can, revive the entire that can revive the entire ecosystem. Then that whole narrative around Uniswap. I mean, shout out to Dom, man. Dom called the top right here when we were on stream last week. He called the top and said, "Look, this is probably tops out right here. Probably acts as a sell the news," and it absolutely did. I didn't expect it to. I expected it to cool off a little bit, but I didn't expect it for it to. I thought it would pick back up, relatively quickly, but got a little bit of some sort of support here. We'll see if that holds, but that's Frong. What else? Wallet, I think, is another one. Also losing steam. The chart looked super strong. The chart looked super strong over here, but ever since this tweet right here, um, right there, Vlad did a tweet that the team hasn't launched any tokens. It massively sold off. You can see that huge red candle right there, massively sold off, and it hasn't really like come back since. Like we started to trend up for a while here, and then it just completely just like sold off. So I'm thinking for the plan on this is probably like a buy, like a buy here. That's probably where things are headed. That's probably where things are headed. Just a little bit below, key support. I think buying that, probably ages well. At least that's the plan for me. What else? What else? What else? What else? Cash Cat. Ooh. What did I tell you guys last week? I told you guys that I'm looking at Cash Cat to pull back. I even circled out the place that it's going to pull back. Come on, guys. You literally can't do it better than this. You can't do it better than this. I did say, though, like maybe we get another pump up to this all-time high area. We didn't end up getting that, but we did get the sell-off to these levels. And I still think there's a little bit more downside left for Cash Cat potentially. Let's see what happens. But we call this right here is a tweet, man. And maybe I gotta try to like find my I have to find my clip of that at some point later, whether it's later today or something. But I mean, look, I've been just very, working on myself, working on being a good trader, working on trying not to be like too, try not to be like a permable, try not to be like too like overly bullish when things start turning around, know when to take profits, like all of that stuff. Still have a lot to work on, right? Like trying to be a student of the game. Um, but I did say like Cash Cat, like the chart just didn't look sustainable. You have this massive sell-off by insiders right here. And then you have this run up afterward, but it looked like it was stalling out midway. And I felt like, the chart was just like literally the chart was just going up ever since we called the bottom. I'm like, well, it looks like it has to turn around at some point. And so here we are. So I think, this golden pocket area for Cash Cat will be really nice, between between let's call it 75 and 90 mil market cap. So by the way, guys, looks like XChat may be broken on StreamYard. I maybe I can't see some of you guys when you're commenting from Twitter. So maybe it could be a Twitter thing. Do I have the insider wallet that longed? No, I didn't. I honestly I didn't. I just saw the head and shoulders, bro. That's really all I saw. The head and shoulders in deep value. You have a bottom formation in a high bottom probability area. That's all I really needed. Plus number one token in the eco. That's kind of all I needed for that one. So yeah, Cash Cat. I think that one. Let's make sure we prioritize that. Let's make sure we put that at the top. Cash Cat. Um, I'm also going to put Woof at the top, and we're gonna go through some of this stuff here in a sec. I'd actually prioritize. Uh, I'm actually gonna downgrade Frong on this one. Um, I like Hooker. I want to see what they come on, what they say when they come on the show, but not a bad area there. Um, and then let's put Juggernaut. Let's put Juggernaut there as well. And you know what? I'm gonna downgrade Frong even further when compared to Juggernaut. And what else? What else do we have? Tiger. I think I'm gonna fade that one. Perma fade that. Uh, I think I'm gonna perma fade Sestri. Unfortunately, I don't like the way that chart looks, but let's refresh and take a look at all the charts again. Um, oh, hyperliquid wallets. Okay. I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out. I'm gonna send you a link to Discord and we can talk about it in Discord too. By the way, if you're in Discord, I'm gonna start trying to ramp up with the VC with the VC in Discord. You know, it's just gonna be like a test, right? Like it's not gonna be any like particular days. Like it's gonna be on my off streaming days. So maybe I'll try to do a little something. Maybe I'll try to do a little something start this week. But usually I would try to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so potentially Tuesday, Thursday. Maybe I pop in, hit up a VC in the morning, and maybe I do that. But yeah, all right. But let's go through these. You said had front run multiple RH listing in the past. If you check, each candle was from the insider opening along um opening along each time. Gotcha. Opening along each time. Okay. Got you. Okay, well, I gotta, yeah, like let's get you in the Discord, bro. And maybe we can track that together. Um but this is kind of so far what I'm seeing, at least there's like a ton of like Robinhood charts to look through. Um, but I think this is where we start. We have Cash Cat, AI, Wallet, Woof, Hooker, Juggernaut. I think there's a few others that we should include on this list. Because I have like Tendies and Hood Rat and Net on this other list here. So maybe for this list, um, maybe for this list, I'm going to bump up Tendies. Let's bump up Net. I'm gonna perma fade, unfortunately, Nasdaq. Oh man. Okay, maybe I don't perma fade it, but man, it's not looking too good. That's not looking too good. Kitsu also heavily sold off, but actually holding not too bad. I would love a bid down here at like 700K. So let's keep eyes on Kitsu, Nasdaq, Marianne, unfortunately, like breaking that structure there. Um, I'll keep loose eyes on it. I keep loose eyes on it. Okay, let's see what else we got real quick. Index, HMM. I think that's a good one. Pawns, got to keep an eye on that. Ooh, Motion Party. Okay, looks like Motion. All right, so let's start including this. Let's start including this on the other list real quick. Let's combine these two lists together. All right, so Tendies is actually coming into a nice area. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. So let's bump up Motion. Let's give that a little bit of priority here. Um and we can take Motion off this list. Little guy, I'm gonna keep on this list here. Vex, I'll keep on this list here. I thought Raxel was gonna really take off along with the bottoming of everything else, but this actually still looks really good to me. Like I still really think that Raxel pulls a nice move. So let's um let's bump that up. Let's prioritize that. And maybe I need to like split up my watch list. 'Cause I feel like that's another thing. I've been trying to really refine my process. Like as I do more, like we're trading, we're in the Discord, I'm on meeting calls, I'm on the live stream. Like I feel like there's so much I really need to make sure I refine my process so there's just not like wasted time flipping through stupid charts or trying to find a chart or whatever. I really need to like, make sure that I have a more refined, efficient process for this stuff. So that's why I'm like kind of going through, seeing what charts do I prioritize, what charts do I just get rid of, what am I just not paying attention to anymore. So that's kind of the purpose of this. And then I got some B&B plays I want to talk to you guys about. I want to look at some of those with you guys. If there's anything that you're looking at on B&B, just just let me know. Just let me know. So we got HMM. Let's take that one off this list. Let's take a look at pawns. Let's throw pawns up there. And we can take pawns off this list. And I think we got everything. I do have a long.xyz ecosystem. It's crazy. Over the weekend, I was looking at this. I'm like, wow, this came right back into the zone I told you guys about. And then it went up to 300K. And then I thought it was gonna hold, just like just like I thought AI was gonna bounce off that trend line, and absolutely not. It just like totally got destroyed. So we're gonna keep um, this long.xyz ecosystem thing. I'll keep that one where it's at. So that way I can just monitor the entire ecosystem. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Let's see what we prioritize. I think net looks really good. So maybe we bump that one up. I'm gonna bump back. I'm gonna bump back wire. I know it's been taken off, but it's I'm gonna bump back NASDAQ. Get that out the way. SZR, I'm still having I'm still watching that, but I think I'm just gonna kind of keep it on the watch list for the time being, but I'll bump that one back. Um I'll bring up pawns. I think pawns is one to pay attention to. Let's bring up Kitsu. I think that's one to pay attention to. Let's bump up when. Let's bump up index, and let's bump up HMM. And I think that's our list here. I think that's how this list is going to come together. Because from what I understand, net is actually doing really well, and we talked about it last week. I know you guys remember this charting. I basically told you guys, bro, just buy it at 2 mil. It's at 2 mil. I mean, technically, from a chart standpoint, would it be nice to re-enter here, sub 1.5, and but I told you guys, literally just enter here, and as your get your main bag in, your initial bag, and maybe if you get a DCA2, you can DCA2 here. But as you can see, since that bid zone, we are up. We went up like over 2.5x from there. So I think any pullbacks are probably like worth buying in my opinion, at least for me. And who knows? Maybe we pull back to like a 3 mil area. Maybe this is where we eye next as a potential buy zone is that. Maybe we eye that for a potential buy zone. But net is looking really good. APR on that goes crazy. Great community. And I think it has like its own fork style. And I'm very bullish on DeFi, on new age DeFi right now. I'm paying attention to a lot of that stuff. What else do we have? Um, one thing I want to include on this list that I'm actually going to bump up as well, Stack. I think this does really well. Let's bump this one up. Yeah, let's do that. And I'd even throw it ahead of Pawns. Not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie. Let's do a quick refresh. Anything you guys want me to cover, let me know. But I think Stack is a good one. Is a good one to pay attention to. But real quick, go through the list. Attendees, I've been just really just watching tendies. I told you guys about this last week that this was like a potential buy zone for me because I'm literally, again, the entire ecosystem is in a pullback. And so what we're looking for is not to buy the falling knife, but to buy something that is extremely undervalued. So we're looking at points of interest, areas of interest that meet that criteria of like an extremely nice risk reward. And for right now, tendies, the risk reward here sub 10 mil, really. The risk reward is super nice. Super nice. I mean, we look at this support level here at I think this is at like 8.5 mil. It's held really well. It's right at the very top of that that deep value territory. Um, but I think tendies is like one of those memes that probably does well. I wouldn't be surprised to see like guys like Calio and stuff, really pick up on this. Real quick, let's move this to the 12-hour real quick and let me see. Get a nice view of this, with little noise. But yeah, I mean, basically what we have is just a huge range here, right? Like when you really zoom out, let's just take away the fib for a second. When you zoom out, this is what you have. You have a range. You have a huge range here building up on um on tendies. And you have your range high over here, and then with the green box, you have your range lows, right? So I guess it's, yeah, from this standpoint, it's pretty simple. You buy at the range high. I mean, you buy at the range low, right here in green. And it likely chops, and then eventually it'll move back up to range highs, and that's where you start to take profits. But I really think that this is a longer term meme. If we get a buy zone like even down here, um, that would be like huge value. Sub 6 mil would be huge value on tendies. But I think tendies really holds here. I am gonna stick with the with with my fibs, just so that way, like, I can just, me personally, I can get a sense of where we are. Um, but yeah, BRB bet. All right. So that was tendies motion. I don't really know what motion is. I know the circulating on this is mad low. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Maybe we can do some quick live DD. Um, it's building the largest social graph, verified bag working. Interesting. Interesting. This is one that we have coming on the show tomorrow. So Yeah, very, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm interested to see what what's the lowdown tomorrow. So this is one that I'm going to wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream. I'll do the interview and we'll see what we can find out. But it's very obvious that, this is a nice pump here. Um, I mean, you have this sort of area where price cooled off a little bit, and now we're back. So very interested to see what happens. This is one of those probably that you might even want to dig into before our interview, just to kind of get an idea of why it's pumping. But that's why it's kind of up on my list of things to watch. Um, Another thing that's worth watching, in my opinion, is this stack um, project. This one seems to be, again, downtrend into a nice little buy zone here. Um, if we want to force a head and shoulders on it, we can even toss a head and shoulders on this one as well. Shoulder, head, and potentially another shoulder forming here. Again, looking for bottoming price action in a likely bottom area. So when you throw these pivots on there, this is potential. It's a buy zone, right? It's a potential bottom. But when you see bottoming price action, then that also becomes like, signal on top of signal. So a nice little confluence there of signals. And I think, likely we pull something like this for stack. Now let's look into stack a little bit here. I think stack is really interesting of a project. Apparently it does something a little bit like different, or something that is like different than stockbrokers or something like that. So I really do want to get an idea of exactly what's happening here. So from what I understand, that's driving some of the speculation behind stackers, is in Pons's update. They talked about, their road ahead. They talked about some things that they're working on. One of those is that they're bullish on NFTs and their utility when it comes to pairing with tokens, RWAs, memes, creator tokens, etc., and rallying communities, whether they be existing or new. There's not much we can release regarding our plans at this time, but we want you to know that it is undergoing development with two incredible partners. Right. So they're taking a note of like RWA volume, interest in NFTs, and they're saying that, hey, we're working on something pretty big. They're also saying that their iOS app is in beta, and that should be coming out soon. So I guess the question becomes, all right, well, is Stack partnering potentially with Pons? Is that what this indicates? We saw Stackers, they come out with this tweet here, that kind of mentioned that, hey, look, they're bullish on NFTs. They said that. So is there more here than what we're seeing? Um, Here's another thing that I'm thinking about with just NFTs, with some of the stuff that we're seeing on chain, that the stockbrokers of the world, the FWA, and I want to go into FWA as well. I think there's a huge thing happening with FWA, and I think it's going under the radar. But that leads me to this tweet here by Lezebre, where he says, every news cycle comes with a new primitive that sparks innovation and speculation. ERC20, AMMs, ERC20s, think of ICOs in 2017. AMMs, think of DeFi in 2021, or in 2020 with DeFi Summer. Think NFTs in 2021. Think bonding curves in 2023, 2024 with Pump Fund. Now he's saying the next big innovation is gotcha. He's saying that gotcha could be the next major primitive that can spark speculation and move prices in the next bull run. So here's what I want to do real quick. I want to ask Grok a little bit about, you know, like I want to get a full understanding of gotcha, the industry, what like who operates within it. So let's do a little bit of live DD and let's ask Grok. Hey Grok, I'm trying to get a view of the entire on-chain gotcha opportunity set. What is gotcha? Why is it innovative and important? And what projects are building in this vertical on Robinhood chain, ETH mainnet, and Solana on chain? Boom. So we're gonna like build this case. I really want to like talk about what is gotcha, what's the potential impact that it can have on like what we see, what we're doing on chain, how we're trading, how we're positioning. I want to fully digest this because you have FWA, you have stockbrokers. These are like these sort of like gotcha things that creates an entirely new primitive. And I don't know if, I was really excited about Uniswap v4. I even asked in the comments, I wonder if Lesabre got back to me, but even in the comment section, Lesabre was talking a little bit about I asked him anyway about Uniswap v4 and what he thinks about it. But yeah, I mean, look, I think there's a lot of value in digging into what is the main narrative or what could be a huge narrative in this upcoming bull run. We have to start making plans now, right? Like you have to like be ready so you don't need to get ready. Like when things pop off, I don't want to have to like then do the research, then come to understand what's happening. Then like, no, I want to read up on as much as possible. So when one thing does start to show signs of momentum and acceleration, I'm already read up on that particular narrative. So I don't know, like, is gotcha going to be that next primitive? None of us can see the future. But if we see that there's already momentum building, we want to perhaps pay attention, get read up on it. And when that thesis now becomes confirmed, you can quickly position before it becomes mainstream consensus. Because for me, I tell you guys all the time, I'm late early. I am late early. I think that's where I operate the best. When you're so early there, you need to have the vision. You need to see like the long-term vision very clearly. And you need to have like a reason to have super, super conviction. And I think there are some projects that I can develop that level of conviction on. But if I can't develop that level of conviction and I get in early, I don't have what I need to manage the trade properly. I'll end up taking profits too early, or I'll end up, wanting to, I'll end up emotionally managing the trade, not the best way. So for me, what comes first is conviction. I need to be able to develop deep conviction in something. And typically that comes after a project is able to prove themselves in some way, right? So whether metrics, user growth, revenue, volume, all these things start to churn up. Okay, cool. To me, that's proof of concept. As soon as you have that proof of concept, there's typically this pullback, and then you get right in on that pullback. And that's what I call late early enough to where, okay, you would have needed to be paying attention to what's coming up. You need to be already read up on what potentially is coming up. So that way, when one thing does pop off, there's a proof of concept. That sector has its discovery candle. You can then position on a pullback. And that's where I think we are with this like whole gotcha sector. So let's read into this. Let's see what Grok has to tell us. On-chain gotcha is a randomized acquisition mechanic brought fully on chain. It takes the classic Japanese gachapon and applies it to crypto assets. Pay a fixed price, receive a random capsule toy. Users pay a set amount to pull or open a digital pack and receive a random NFT or tokenized position. The outcome is typically drawn via verifiable randomness with Chainlink or other ways they're able to do that. The asset can be the asset can be pure crypto native like blue chip NFTs or a tokenized RWA like on-chain stocks. Key features usually include an instant buyback option, often 85 to 95% of estimated value, secondary market making, and for physical items, the ability to redeem the underlying real asset. Why it's innovative. Traditional pack opening or secondary sales of collectibles involves high friction, authenticity checks, shipping, eBay fees, days or weeks of settlement, and limited liquidity. On-chain gotcha compresses this into seconds with transparent odds, instant settlement, and standing buybacks that create a tight gotcha loop. Pull, dislike, sell back at a haircut, pull again. It blends the dopamine of gambling collecting with DeFi style liquidity and RWA tokenization. This has produced real consumer traction and revenue even during market downturns. On-chain gotcha volume hit records such as 324 million in a single month in June 2026. It also creates two-sided markets. Depositors supply inventory and earn fees, rewards, while pullers get lottery-like upside with bounded downside. Many view it as a potential next major crypto primitive after tokens, AMMs, NFTs, and bonding curves because it drives high engagement, repeat usage, and new forms of on-chain economic activity. Yeah, I was going to say this reminds me a lot of Collector Crypt. Obviously, they've been operating in the gotcha niche for a long time. Theirs is more so collectible cards, right? Collectible Pokemon cards. But at least it started with Pokemon anyway, and has since expanded. But I think if gotcha does perform well, which I think it does, I think Collector Crypt does some insane numbers. It already has. You see the charts and the revenue and everything like that all the time. Fake world assets is this is one that I want to read up on very, very closely, actually. So I think it's worth paying attention to fake world assets. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't like lock in enough. I saw it and I completely faded it. Like I said, I fade 90% of things, but I ended up fading it, and lo and behold, it was actually a pretty decent it's actually a pretty decent primitive. So I want to read up on FWA before this stream is over. So I'm going to make sure like we get some sort of thesis on this before the day's out. All right, real quick. Let me perfect. All right, I got a couple nice. I got a couple thesis posts for you guys on FWA. All right. So zooming back out a little bit to just the whole gotcha sector. So I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't as well read on gotcha as I should have been, like this whole time. Like obviously it's been going crazy. But I figured like instead of needing to know like what exactly gotcha is and like how it operates and like whatnot, I just paid attention to the projects, their revenue numbers, like Collector Crypt, for example. We brought them on, earlier this year, right before it. Like I would say we're the ones who introduced Collector Crypt to CT and kind of got them started on that run. Um, but I still got that opportunity. So for me, it's not really knowing exactly what gotcha is, but like just more so monitoring the business, the health of the business. And that still kind of got me to doing the trade. But now we should be understanding this. This is a key concept for us to understand. So, and I guess like the innovative part for me is, you know, you have this like there's this pull mechanic that it's saying the gotcha loop where it keeps people engaged. There's no downside. You still get that gamble feel, but then like people can actually, I guess, provide liquidity or provide underlying assets. Um, Let me see. Two-sided markets. Depositors supply inventory and earn fees or rewards, while pullers still get that lottery style pick. So it's going to be interesting to see like what people build on this. Like what like how people build within this entire within this entire niche. Um let me also ask does Stack build within this narrative? Stack on Robinhood chain. I'll ask about that as well real quick just to see because again we have this we have this little head and shoulders going on here, so I want to kind of start top down and start with gotcha, the whole kind of top side of the narrative, make sure we understand that and see if like if there's anything that relates to this. Okay, so looks like Stack is not in the gotcha narrative. What Stack actually is utility token. um All right, let's see. You burn so minting is finished. NFTs trade on secondary markets. You burn stack starting at a $25,000 base tier to activate a stacker NFT. So there's 3,000 NFTs in this stacker collection. You then choose up to 3 assets on Robinhood, tokenized assets like Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, whatever. Or you can even choose certain ecosystem tokens, including Stack itself. Okay, nice. Trading fees related to the project are used to automatically buy and deposit those chosen assets into the NFT every hour. The stocks stay inside the NFT. They travel with it if sold. Higher tiers, upgrades, and fusion require additional stack burns. So it's kind of like reminds me of stockbrokers a little bit. You have this like sort of like NFT collection. You need to burn tokens in order to like access rewards in that NFT collection. And I guess in this case, um you know I wonder what it's doing. I wonder what it's doing differently. What How is it different than stockbrokers? I guess that's the part that it sounds a little bit like that, so I'd love if it could differentiate itself a little bit. Um, it is essentially a yield-bearing auto accumulator NFT that turns fee flow into passive holdings of tokenized stocks held inside the NFT itself. So I'm guessing this is volume from the token trades. I'm assuming. Also, is uh, Stack using volume from token trades to accumulate the assets for the NFTs. Let's we can also ask it that. Um Let's see, paying okay, relation to true on-chain gotcha, FWA stock rips, paying a fixed price for randomized pull, receiving an unknown asset from a pool, instant buyback or keeper cash out loops, dopamine of chance plus bounded downside. Stackers has none of those, none of that. Where it does overlap, it lives in the same broader Robinhood chain ecosystem that gotcha projects are exploring. Heavy use of the chain's official tokenized stock primitives, consumer facing experimentation around making tokenized equities more engaging and programmable, NFT plus token burns. Oh yes, and I heard that they've burned so far like almost 20% of the supply, and then they burn like I think like 17% of the NFTs, from what I understand. Um, so there's that. How's it different? They're both experiments that put tokenized stocks inside NFTs and use fees to accumulating them, but they differ significantly in design, technology, and scope. Um, Looks like assets build up inside the NFT. Each NFT has its own token bound account, a real smart contract wallet controlled by the NFT owner. Okay. Initial seeding, um, how you choose assets, explicitly pick up to three, no ongoing choice of specific stocks for rewards. Protocol distributes whatever it buys. Okay, so with I guess with this, you can choose what you want the stacker NFT to accumulate. Reward source, primarily stack trading fees, auto buy your chosen assets every hour and deposit them into the NFT. Mainly Anvil NFT AMM trading fees, plus other ecosystem fees, buys stocks and airdrops them to activated brokers wallets, calling that clock in. Okay, so I guess this NFT AMM and a few other ecosystem products generate revenue outside of just the trading fees that Stack has. Um, let's see, strong deflation, fusion burns NFTs plus more stack tiers stick to the NFT, supply only shrinks, activation burns 50% of the fee. Activation can reset on transfer, less emphasis on permanently shrinking NFT supply. So it looks like from a deflationary standpoint, Stack is super deflationary both for the NFT collection and for the tokens themselves. Pure burn utility token Stack is never distributed by the project, versus stockbrokers collection plus utility token tightly linked to the Anvil NFT AMM, fixed stockbroker value per NFT. Okay, so the token here on this side actually, so the Anvil NFT AMM really is the component for them. It's really the component for them that they're kind of the innovation, I guess, for stockbrokers that they're building up on. Um, yeah, they're positioned as a larger DeFi suite infrastructure play. The NFTs and stockbrokers sit at the corner, at the center of an Anvil NFT AMM, NFT back lending, a token launcher, planned VDEX, stonk exchange, options desk, and other products. Fees from these activities feed stock rewards to activated brokers. It has more ecosystem ambitions, whereas this is more like self-contained. There's also some leverage trading tooling, but the core product is the auto accumulator plus dual deflation token plus NFT supply. Okay. So I'm going to be interested to see if like stackers, if they um do anything else outside of just like the deflationary aspect of it. Are there other products that they plan on building? I think I think that's what I'm interested in seeing. Here's a tweet that I've been seeing about Stack. Hear me out, Stack Bros. 53K given in 4 days, almost 20% of supply burnt, 4% put up for staking towards higher tiers, 10% NFT supply fused and gone forever. Show me another project that has kept being this bullish. Dev has been showing up what feels like 20 hours a day. I find it hard to believe, but this is support from Ponds and NFT communities. It's over just yet. So here's the other thing that could act as a tailwind for Stack is that I guess again, like we talked about at the beginning of this, they have they could have a potential partnership with Ponds. At least that's the speculation anyway. But in either way, it seems like they could be getting some support from Ponds. I wonder what NFT communities are supporting this. Let me see if I'm looking on top of that dev based rollout, stack staking, lock stack, everything your stackers earn gets a bonus on top on stake anytime. I wonder if that comes from fees, from trading fees as well. But yeah, like here's the page. Let's actually go to Stackers real quick. Let's go to their website and let's take a look. Engine upgrade is live. Every stacker now earns through the new engine. Same hourly payouts, same vault, 3 new things. More coins. Any coin on Robinhood can now be added. First up, Stack, HMM, and YOLO in their own Ponds ecosystem row on the picker. Stack is now bought straight into your vault like any other pick and can share a split with anything else. Reforge. Used stackers can raise the parts they absorbed all the way to the top tier by burning stack at the same prices as upgrading. Step 4 on the activation page. Fused stackers can also upgrade their own tier again, and the page shows the extra cost. One more change: total earned on your dashboard now counts from when the stacker came to your wallet. Okay. So now I guess you can, instead of just tokenized stocks, you can actually put, anything inside of your NFT for that NFT to accumulate. So I guess stockbrokers, I guess the main thing I'm getting here that's the difference between the two is that with Stack, you can actually pick the asset that you want back. I'm hoping that I'm right with that, chat. You guys keep me honest. Let me know if you see anything else that's different. But yeah, let's look at their website here real quick. Burn to activate, pick your stocks, and your stacker fills with them every hour on its own. The stock stays inside the NFT, so it's still there if you sell. Market never closes. Looks like they're churning away. They're coming up on 20%. 5% of the supply is staked. So basically, about 25% of this is like out of circulation right now. It said that, and they're getting some interest from some OG NFT communities. So I actually want to take a look at that. There's 2 questions that I have. What other flywheels? No, what other products do they have that can generate fees? And the other question that I have, I think that's the main question for now. It's just like, how else do they plan on on generating fees? But according to Grok here, so yes, trading fees generated by Stack fund the accumulation of assets into the NFTs. So I guess essentially like this now becomes like a worker for you on chain. Another question I had was what other NFT communities are showing support for Stack? Let's get a gist of that as well, because that could also, we need to, if volume is the only thing that's driving this, then what what can make trading volume go up? Essentially, that's my question. Stack trading fees, 80% of the fees from stack trades are automatically used to buy the tokenized stocks or other chosen assets that get deposited into activated stackers every hour. The remaining 20% goes to a protocol reserve that covers keeper gas, site costs, and development. This is the core flywheel that funds the NFT's accumulation. 5% royalty, activations. So I wonder, where does this? Wait a second. What they don't have, unlike bigger ecosystems, Stackers does not currently run its own NFT, AMM lending, or any other thing. The design is intentionally focused on NFT, stack trading fee, asset accumulation loop, plus the deflationary burn mechanisms. Almost all the value that flows into the stackers, the stocks being bought for holders, comes from stack trading volume. The only other meaningful ongoing revenue stream is the 5% secondary market royalty on the NFTs themselves. Okay. And it looks like they also have some sort of like lending product that they built on top of Lighter that's zero fees for those that are NFT holders. So I guess that's another thing for you to get an NFT, so that way you have, like, free trading fees on Lighter. So that's cool. Stackers is still very new. So formal support from large established is limited. Most of the visible backing is coming from within the emerging NFT ecosystem. Other NFT projects are treating stackers as OG or top tier for their own allow lists. I don't recognize any of these. List. Okay. So I don't. So obviously they have Pawns Eco. Stackers was launched on Pawns. Oh, Stackers, I forgot about that. Okay. Stackers was launched on Pawns, and several Pawns-related tokens are already stackable inside Stackers. This creates natural overlap and mutual interest within that Launchpad. So I guess that kind of feeds the whole partnership between Pawns and Stack. So that feeds that sort of narrative. There's organic chatter, mutual recognition with projects like Stockbroker, Spritehood, Mancer, Pit Boys, and similar early. What is not showing up yet? There are no clear endorsements or formal collaborations from major external NFT communities. Okay. So building momentum, but hasn't gotten any like non Robinhood native attention. That could be seen of as a bullish thing, because maybe it says that, we have, higher to go, like more attention that could come our way. And I still think that, we have some pretty visible signs of a proof of concept. And this goes back to my idea of being late early. We're late early because we saw this after this discovery candle, right? And let me go back to the stack chart. We are late early to this stack trade because, number one, it's had its discovery candle already, right? It put in its discovery candle right here. So, we kind of saw it after the fact and said, wow, like, okay, this is interesting. What's the proof of concept? Well, to me, the proof of concept is you have a ton of the NFTs that are burned. You have a ton of the supply that is burned. You need supply to get higher tiers. And now you can also choose your own assets that you get out of the NFT. And I think that's what's materially different with Stack versus stockbrokers, is you get to choose your assets. That would include tokenized stocks, but also just regular tokens on the Robinhood ecosystem. And it seems like they're prioritizing the Pawns eco as well. So very, very nice. Very nice. I think this is interesting here. And I think that's why I want to put this, more towards the top of my list of things that I'm avidly paying attention to. And I think this probably ages well with pawns, because essentially, like, you have you have this chart that, it's been going sideways a little bit here. um Not much charting to do on this, if I do say so myself. You have, some resistance here, you have some support here. We don't really know what's going to hold. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So interested to see, like, um if this becomes like a higher low and ends up just like going higher. And that would then kind of give credence to, um I wonder if this yeah, that kind of like would line up with a little bit of a touch of the trend line. So maybe that's what we see here. Maybe that's what we see here with pawns. But I'll say this: pawns as an ecosystem has momentum. A lot of people love ponds. A lot of people love what ponds are doing. And I think for anyone building in within the ponds ecosystem, especially as the Launchpad themselves, they start to push. These guys are saying they're working on big things. That could create a tailwind for their entire ecosystem. And just like some memes on the ecosystem, like HMM, YOLO, have already started to move. Some NFT stuff that's happening, just like stockbrokers is kind of leading this whole NFT sort of wave. We could see something similar on the Ponds eco run, especially when Ponds gets hot again. So gonna continue to monitor that trade, but I think we do well here. I think we do well on this stack trade. Yeah, I think the R&R is pretty nice. Um, what else do we have? What else do we have? I think that's all I would like to go through on this list here. I mean, there's a ton of assets. So I just try to have, like, I have R1 over here, like the one Robinhood chain. I have Robinhood chain. I have just a couple different tabs where I can just quickly look at the ecosystem, or I can just quickly look at, like, Robinhood on chain, and boom, I see every chart pulling back. All right, it's bad. I see charts, keeping up with momentum, or charts that aren't pulling back as much. It's very easy to see in some of these multi charts. Um, okay, let's talk about ETH mainnet. Let's talk about ETH mainnet. Um, as you can see, FWA pushing. I want to talk about that. Actually, I'm going to prioritize FWA on the list here. Um, we got stockbrokers. All right, let's go ahead and refresh. Yeah, let's go ahead and refresh. Let's bring all the charts back up here. All right. Okay. Hmm. Fuse two stacker. Wait, real quick. Before I was looking at this, looking at the website here, for stackers. Tiers add plus 20%, Fuse 3 plus 30% gilded in gold. The absorbed ones are gone forever. Says here, your tier decides how much you earn. Burn stack to climb 1 to 3x. The tier stays with the NFT forever, even when you sell it. Okay. Wow. All right. I just wanted to look at that. What's the floor price for these? Do we know? Um Stack burned, activate, fuse. I wish it was like, I guess I would have to go to OpenSea to see what the listing is. But okay, that's fine. We don't have to go through that, like, right this moment. Yeah, we don't have to go through that right this moment. All right, cool. So let's look at ETH. So one thing I'm paying attention to a lot on ETH mainnet is FWA FWA. I was looking at this last night and at like 25 mil, and I was like, man, this looks good for a size bet. But it just ended up getting me like just super interested in this whole like gotcha narrative. And so that's why I've just kind of been like paying like super close attention to gotcha, because I think it's an interesting and new primitive not seen before. And again, like Lezebre was saying earlier, it could be that tool. It could be that main thing that people use to speculate again on chain, right? Like, so I'm really watching for what exactly are we looking for here. Um, let me see. So basically, FWA is crypto native NFT gotcha on Ethereum. Um, here's a little bit of a brief by Grok. The standout pure crypto version, users deposit NFTs paired with ETH backing. Others pay to pull a random position from the pool. Buyers can keep the NFT or accept the depositor's standing bid, typically 85% of the backing. Features lost to earn incentives, FWA token, and Chainlink VRF, verifiable randomness. It has driven significant gas usage and fee revenue spikes shortly after relaunches. So I really want to get the full lowdown on FWA because I never got a chance to really like look deeply into this. So let's take a look at FWA real quick, and let's get a full breakdown. Here's a thread that I found. What exactly is the new narrative that is making waves? The concept: an on-chain gotcha system for NFTs. Users deposit ETH-backed assets into a common pool, while others pay fees in ETH to try to win pieces at random. What is the result? A high risk, high reward model dubbed by the community as loss to earn. The FWA token. It works as the core of the protocol's incentives. Bro, this is Spanish. What are we doing here? Después de los ajustes iniciales para estabilizar su economía. Bro, my Spanish is low key not too bad, right? My Spanish is low key not too bad. El modelo actual canaliza un porcentaje significativo de las tarifas. Bro, my Spanish is not too bad. I don't know. It says something about the model. Yeah, no idea. Okay. The philosophy. No VCs involved. Adam and Teto bet on pure financial experimentation on Ethereum, prioritizing direct interaction with smart contracts over corporate marketing. Real innovation in the tokenomics of on-chain games, or just a zero-sum game with a lot of narrative. Okay. So we kind of basically get the gist of it, right? Like you have we get the gist of it, right? You have basically, this protocol where, people will put their high value assets into a pool, and they use a gotcha system. So you pay to enter, you rip, and then maybe you rip an NFT. And if you can either choose to keep the NFT, or maybe you choose to get 85% of the backing of that NFT. So let me just read another one here just to make sure we got a full, well-rounded view. A token like Ethereum can trade and be traded instantly, but an NFT like CryptoPunk could sit for months waiting for the right buyer. The asset might be valuable, entry by the minter, asset buyer early, but the exit is most times painful. DeFi solved this problem for tokens, and FWA by TokenWorks is attempting to solve it for NFTs. The core idea: turn NFTs from static collectibles into financial positions, allow users to deposit NFTs with ETH backing. allow buyers to enter NFT pools through a randomized acquisition mechanism. This allows the NFT to be backed by liquidity, tradable through a protocol, and part of an on-chain marketplace primitive. NFT marketplace, liquidity pool, mystery box mechanisms. This means the NFT with FWA mechanism suddenly becomes an asset with ETH backing, liquidity mechanics, trading activity, protocol fees. We've seen real world assets grow to become a top narrative. How about fake internet based ones? I mean, the ones termed to be illiquid. What if they would suddenly have heavy access to huge liquidity? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I like this. Token works. Let's go to FWA.fun. Let's go to the website real quick. Yeah, so I guess this is mostly earns extra 1% purchase fee. Let's see. Just looking, I want to see like metrics, like, if there's yes, activity. Okay. Leaderboard. Hmm. Okay. No, okay. So I just want to get a sense of like metrics. Are there any metrics that, we can like point to? Um FWA is now live, a new way to buy and sell NFTs. So it looks like this is more NFT focused. We added art blocks, curated contracts, any NFT from the 108 collection. The reason why I'm interested in FWA, this is what I heard. I saw a tweet that said FWA just officially became the um it just officially became the OpenSea competitor is what I heard. So I wanted to like, I read that and I'm like, all right, maybe there's something that I'm missing. And let's see, FWA. I want to see if there. I don't know if there's like a FWA page or is it just TokenWorks. Looks like they just. This is what I saw. That like this was launched, and then I saw someone said, they just officially became a competitor to OpenSea. So I'm like, what is it? Um, what is it that I'm missing? Plan is to launch Luluni NFTs. Isn't Luluni a token? Luluni is a token, right? Let's see. Gut says bold PFP's first collection. FWA rips to 50 mil plus market cap on the back of people hammering it just for the specific PFP. They were on. All right, real quick. Let's read this. NFTs already had great properties until now. Those were the only advantages at the object level, as the market structure around NFTs was just basically a collection of isolated storefronts. Here with FWA, the platform protocol shifts from being just a storefront taking a fee, like with traditional mints, to become the coordination layer between creators, capital, inventory, and demand, as the protocol doesn't just host the mint and take a fee anymore, but it pairs creator inventory with supporter capital, then puts those backed positions in front of FWA wide demand, and then routes the NFT ETH based on the buyer choice. Interesting. Luluni is an OG Uniswap token. Yeah, I remember it's the 404 error message, I think, is what they were saying. See, this is what I'm seeing here. Think there's a chance FWA becomes the place for launching fungible and non-fungible tokens. I'm just trying to like, I need something that can like make sense to me though. Like, is anyone else getting this? Chat, are you getting this? Is there something that I'm missing? Am I too smooth brained or I'm really just trying to like get a sense of what the heck is going on with Flaw. Okay, looks like a guy from OpenSea, marketing lead at OpenSea, had some comments. Cool mechanic here from Flaw. Love the experimentations. Trade off for players. FWA prices spins off the average backing in the pool. So dropping in a bunch of mint priced NFTs makes spins cheaper, but it also makes the big pulls rarer. Price discovery. A punk or apes backing means something because there's a market telling you what it's worth. A brand new collection is backed at whatever number the artist picked. Could be right, could be way off. Nobody knows yet. So you're adding positions to the pool that haven't been priced by the market. Okay, so I guess he's like, there's some criticisms there. Ooh, all right. We might have stumbled on a an account, like an intern account. Lifting and Stuff 2025 YouTube viewer. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate the comment here. I am behind on the stream, but there's a lot of attention on B stock. Curious if anyone has looked into this. We can look into B stock. I actually have a few things on BNB that I wanted to touch on as well. So we'll make sure that we talk about that. Hi, I skipped to live, as you should, brother. As you should. It's all good. All the other stuff you can always rewind and watch that later. Not a bad thing just to skip live. Welcome, welcome. Um, we're talking about FWA, just trying to make sure that we haven't missed anything. I think there's something here. Basically, if you're just tuning into the stream, we're talking about the gotcha narrative. And basically with gotcha, it's now it's not now, it is a powerful new market primitive on chain gotchas. We see that with crypto cards. Um, we see that with crypto cards, with I'm sorry, collector crypt. We see that with stock rip. We see that with a few other like protocols that are doing something like um uh we see a few interesting things happening. So I want to make sure that FWA operating within this gotcha narrative, I want to make sure it's not doing anything or we're not missing anything on this, because I think they're doing something big. So listen to what Jack says here. I continue to explain this product to people outside of crypto, and they continue to understand it and love it. This is a revenue generating protocol that we're seeing being created right in front of our eyes, and you can own it. This is a business. Crypto is good for a few things. One of the more fun things is speculation and gambling. FWA is just that. For depositors, waking up and seeing your NFTs have been taken, how much you've made. For pullers, pulling and seeing if you've won an NFT. As long as pullers keep pulling, the business keeps running. Could really see it becoming a cornerstone of ETH. Rhinotic hasn't even scratched the surface. So in summary, please sell your FWA. I'm waiting. Let's see here. Let's see here. I want to see what he's been saying about this. If you want to go, would you keep it or take the ETH? Looking. Looks like he's a pretty big FWA. I'm just waiting to see if was there a thesis or anything that he wrote up recently that that could help. Let me just search FWA. I hate to say it, but a FWA-based token launcher could be interesting. Fee goes towards pulling on FWA. Fees go towards buying NFT and depositing. Fees on the platform would have to launch fairly via pre-sale, but please don't build this. Okay. The product behind FWA is probably one of the few actual use cases in crypto, a slot machine to collect NFTs for degen gamblers that unites both degenerate gamblers and rich NFT holders via ETH fees. For the first time ever in crypto, I think if Rhinotic were able to get the price per pull down, um, I would in fact use FWA without caring about minting the token because Atom has NFTs that have floor prices on the open market, ETH that has its own market, and FWA as a platform rewards token. He can really tweak a lot of the mechanics and make it sustainable, make it a sustainable business. Okay. All right. All right. Well, there's flaw. We kind of get it, right? We kind of get the innovation behind it. Basically there's a launcher now, like they now launch you can now launch NFT collections on top of FLA, which would feed the FLA ecosystem. It would give pullers more things they can get. It will give NFTs like this sort of liquid market naturally. um and it looks like this is being dubbed the fairest distribution out there. You still get paid at the end of the day, will go to the hands of real users instead of bots. This is for NFTs to start, but I'm pretty sure they just invented the optimal token launchpad. Believe it or not, but this has many of the attributes that MetaDAO launches. How like I've been reading stuff like this, but I'm trying to understand how. Let's ask Grok. Actually, let's go back. Let's do this. Let's ask Grok on the side. Let's see what Grok has to say about FWA. Let's see. Um, all right. So the question I have on this is, why could this be the optimal token launchpad? Trying to create a bull case based on community traction, primitive adoption, adoption potential, and price appreciation. All right. So let's see. Let's go to Lesbray. Lesbray has been like talking about this a lot. He's been talking about this quite a bit. Let me see. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're really getting this down. Okay. All right. So we'll see what it brings up there. This is true. Size of the lottery market, the potential of NFTs, the taste of the new gen. Then you realize flaw to a dollar is inevitable. Yeah, I mean, look, it might not be might not be bad here, bro. Might not be bad at all. All right, let's see. Yeah, OpenSea competitor here. OpenSea competitor. While will trade above 500 million next 12 months. Yeah. Yeah, FWA definitely looks good. FWA could emerge as a strong contender for an optimal launchpad, starting with NFTs and potentially generalizing to tokens because it combines fair launch mechanics similar to MetaDAO with the existing high engagement gotcha pool. Here's a structured bull case. Okay, community. Okay, it's telling me about engagement, crypto Twitter picking up on it. Builders have publicly expressed preference for building on FWA rather than forking it, citing ease of integration and shared pool network effects. Artists are reportedly lining up. Had a primitive adoption potential. Where works as a demand proven all or nothing fair launch into a shared liquid pool. Creators, once approved, set a fixed price per NFT. Supporters back individual pieces with that exact ETH amount. If the full collection is backed in the window, NFTs plus ETH backing enter the main FWA pool. If not, full refund to backers. Once in the pool, purchases pull randomly. They can keep the NFT. Um, Backer recovers 99% of ETH or accept the standing bid. Backers get the NFT. A small slice routes to buybacks. Creators earn ongoing from acquisition fees generated by their pieces in the pool. This mirrors key MetaDAO style attributes the original post highlighted: fixed price for everyone, all or nothing refunds, and treasury like backing, while adding immediate secondary market exposure via the existing randomized acquisition pool. Why this could be a preferred primitive: solves classic launch pain points: sniping, unfair allo, post mint liquidity drought, poor distribution. Creates strong network effects. Every successful launch adds fresh inventory and reasons for users to interact with the shared pool, increasing volume and discovery for everyone. Aligns incentives tightly. Creators get sustained fee revenue and better distribution. Backers get their fair entry at mint price with optionality. The protocol captures ongoing activity and buy pressure. This is a lot. In short, bull case rests on Flare converting existing energy into proven generation. Self-reinforcing fair launch primitive, solves distribution liquidity problems, will determine how far it goes. Okay, so I think we went through a decent amount there for FWA. So obviously, launchpad primitive, but one that is more like, it's more of like a fair launch styled. uh it's more like, it's just fairer, I guess. It's with the gotcha mechanic of the lottery. I mean, you have on one side people, lottery style bidding. On the other side, you have creators and backers kind of throwing stuff in the pool for people to bid on. And when someone rips something that they want, they either keep the NFT or they keep the backing. And depending on what that is for the creator, like, they either get their money back, or they get their NFT back, depending on what the puller decided to do with the rewards. But very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think FWA has a very good future. I think there's some other interesting ways that you can use gotchas. So I'm gonna be on the lookout for anything like that, including anything like that that's trying to include what you call it, like gotcha with stocks, tokenized stocks on Robinhood. Gonna keep an eye out for that. Stockbrokers doing well. Prism, still waiting for Prism to get in the deep value territory here. Um, I meant to show you guys the chart on FWA. FWA chart is actually looking fire. I think it's headed for all-time highs. I think it's probably headed for a couple hundred mil, in my opinion. For the next stretch, I'd probably shoot at least 100 mil, from current prices, at least. I think FWA does its thing. Next thing I'm looking at is Prism. Still wanted to kind of get into this deep value territory here. When I first discovered Prism, I got in super late here at like 3 mil or something, like two and a half or three, somewhere in this area. I caught this run up. I want to accumulate a lot more here, between like sub 2 mil. So I'd love for it to pull something like this, so I can get a chance to really get in. And this would also coincide with the top of a previous range, right? Like right here at like 1.5 mil. So maybe we even maybe we even put this up a little bit. Maybe this is what it ends up doing, right? Like, we end up testing the top of the previous range. testing the top and then going. So gonna keep paying attention to Prism. Also think Prism does very, very well going into the future. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's it. Think that's it. Um, had a couple eyes on some things. Let's look at Delta real quick. Delta was one that I got in on. I got in on Dom's call over the weekend. Shout out to Dom, man. Like he really broke this down really well on the show on Friday. And man, it clicked. I got in for a couple X's. Now I'm just kind of waiting to see where this levels out. Basically TLDR is this is the Meteora of Robinhood. They're doing the delimbing. I think delimbing is a super like positive EV trading style, and I think with when you have volume, I think it can supercharge your portfolio with like while kind of limiting the downside. Like literally, as long as there's a volume, you know, you can really get some stuff done, and you don't even have to move. Like the chart itself doesn't even have to move. So really, with Robinhood being a place where volume has been pretty consistent for and like their tokens don't just pump and die off, right? These tokens actually come back to life. So I can start running these bid ask strategies again. We could start running, we can start running some of these crazy strategies on Robinhood with some of these tokens. So I think it's a really great use case. I'm still waiting on like some confirmation on stuff like what they're gonna like, exactly how they're gonna incorporate the token and like some of their plans and stuff with that. But I think overall the team just kind of sounds like super chads. Like I think they have like, good head on their shoulders, and I think they can do well. Similar to Prism here. I'm thinking like, you know, we kind of go down before going up again. I mean, this downtrend is like super aggressive, super aggressive downtrend here. Super aggressive downtrend here. So, we'll see. I'll see if it actually breaks out of the downtrend or if it just kind of like, comes back, or if it kind of comes back down to these lower levels. Would love, sub a mil on this. So I'd put my zone here. That would be perfect buy zone in my opinion. At least it's the one I'm shooting for anyway. Outside of that, what else do we have? We talked about Stack. I think Stack looks good, getting some nice little support from the Pons Eco. I think Hooker is also another one that's worth watching. Let's see here. Let's delete this. We already talked about Manlet. We already talked about LFI. Base Cat looks pretty strong actually. Looks pretty strong. Another one that I was looking at on BNB was what's it called? Crap, what's it called? Like Behemoth or something. Let me let's just go to BSC real quick. I think this is it. Yeah. This is another something else I was looking into. I know a few of you guys were saying earlier that you really like some stuff on Binance. Amp, he may have been referring to Base Stonk Launchpad on Base. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at it. We'll take a look. Behemoth, was one that I was watching. apparently some AI agent, something or other. Basically, CZ, he interacted with a post from the founder of this guy. So we'll kind of see what becomes of it. But definitely something that I just, I'm watching just to kind of see how things develop. Um, let's actually take a look at. Let's see here. Let's see here. Wow. Holy cow. Okay, so um
Hey guys, I think Chill is just lagging there, so I'll try and get him back on for you guys. He went on B&B chain and just like totally just zoinked out. Are you guys trading on Ansem, this Launchpad at all? I bought this token called Army, and it is ripped a couple times here. So I am trading this. This is complete degenerate stuff, though. I'm just playing around with it. So, yeah, I do find this Launchpad quite interesting. Also on Ansem here, I'm going to flick my other camera on. Just give me a second here, guys. Just setting up. All right. Today I was behind the scenes, but sometimes we got to take over. Okay, so it looks like they got some moderation on this Ansem Launchpad now. I know Chill didn't want to show it off at first because there was some stuff on here that was not good. And if I lag a little bit, it's just because I'm setting up here and didn't anticipate my guy dropping off the stream. All right. But this seems to be, I'm just going to close some tabs here, make sure we're not lagging too hard. But this Launchpad seems to be moderated now, and it is got Manlet listed, which I think is why Manlet sold off. It has Kate Coin. I don't know why Kate Coin would be listed. The Black Table Z500, which I believe is the index token. But some of the main H-Bull was on here, I believe, at one point. Anyways, he's listed like some of the main ones that were kind of contributing to the ecosystem. There's my guy. So I'm just I'm watching this, but I did get in Army at like 7K market cap, and that ripped to like 200 and something K, which was pretty wild. So I did trade that and did quite well with that.
What the heck happened?
Yo, I don't know where you went, but
I went into like the freaking Matrix, bro. I don't know what the heck happened.
That's all right. I got you, Chill.
Appreciate you for jumping in there, bro. But yeah, I think guys, I think that's really like the main stuff I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was.
What was your take? Did you watch the NetNet stream?
Then I did not watch the NetNet stream. I have to go back and take a look because there was some like, bro, the APRs on that is crazy. Number one, the yield on that is crazy. There's also some crazy like supply reduction going on, because the circulating is like has continued to go down. So yeah, have to read it. Have to listen to have to go back and re-listen to um our stream, our episode with them. Let me see here.
I'm pulling up the okay, net capital. I gotta look at what this is because this is really, really interesting, but it says their treasury is over $1 million.
Bro, did you get like a new
200K is
camera or something?
no, this is my normal camera. This is my normal camera.
Is there like difference in lighting or something? It looks super crisp. Chat, y'all see that? Y'all see that? It looks like super, like just super
I'm not even
crispy.
funny enough is I'm not even streaming in 1080. There's 1080. So there's 1080. Yo,
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
stop glazing me like that.
Nah, dog, just calling it like it is, man. Just calling it like it is, man.
So I gotta tell you about this trade. So I'm in like whatever shirt. I got like a toothpaste splatter from brushing my kids' teeth this morning. But so don't mind that, guys. If you have kids, you'll know. So I'll tell you this trade. So I'm in this Ansem thing and I'm looking at this Launchpad. This token called Army pops up and it has the bull. What's Ansem's like Twitter thing? It's like the bull and then that Chinese letter or something like that. Does anyone know what this means? So I buy this thing, 7K market cap, ripped to 200 and something K.
Jesus.
Sold it right at the top, literally top. Rips down to 20K. Everyone's like, this thing's over. I then buy back my position, and now this thing from 25K is now back at 180K. And it's
Jesus, man,
kind of starting to go right now. So
CA chart.
I don't even know if this is a stream. I can even pull this on the stream and
oh my gosh,
but
that's a crazy
Army.
That's a crazy trade, bro.
Army, guys. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm holding this right now, so I'm not gonna. I may drop this in Discord actually.
Oh, Army. Oh. Is it on Pump Fund, by the way?
No, it's on. Well, it says migrated. It says it's a pump token, but I'm wondering if this is.
It's not
the CA. No, it's on.
It's not a pump token. I think it's like a.
Does Ansem's Launchpad use the pump infra though?
Imagine this was the. Nah, no way.
Look, guys, I don't know what this thing is. I'm trying to get a handle on it, but it is on his Launchpad. Yeah, this is the token.
Oh, you were trading on the Ansem Launchpad, like that just launched.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like this would naturally be a runner.
So I'm on here and I see the CA. Okay, this Army is the ticker. And okay, so that's who it's deployed by. Okay, so I copy the CA from the top, but when I pump it into my terminal, it does say it's a pump token.
It trades on Pump Swap, but I don't think it's a pump token. Well,
no, it's but how many other Launchpad platforms are using Pump's infrastructure like that? Like that's like Meteor DBC was an example of kind of the infrastructure of it, but anyways, I don't know. I just know that I'm messing around with this thing, and so I'm putting on some trades right now, and they're doing pretty well. So, anyways, I'm just keeping an eye on this Launchpad because they've cleaned it up since this morning. This morning it was a cluster, but in the last like hour, it's kind of got cleaned up. They have the NF not safe for work NSFW. they've listed like Manlet. I think this is what caused Manlet to sell off originally, is because and it lags my computer when I have this open, but because everyone thought I would vamp all the Ansem derivatives like H-Bull, Manlet, etc., but they've now listed them on here. Who knows? Who knows?
Might
do not do that. Do not. But I am, just in case, I'm going to drop in the Discord here, just in case.
all right. I think I'm sorry, bro. I think I might. Oh my gosh, dude. I think I might have to. I think I might have to.
All right. It's such a low cap though. That's where we're at in the cycle though. So
Right. I mean,
that's where we're at. We're gonna be honest with ourselves. So,
dude, did you see this new X Money thing?
yeah, I've seen X Money. I've seen it. Are we showing this thing? We just in case. What if it is? But probably isn't.
No.
We can't.
It looks super. Because what it looks like is it looks like the same whoever launched. Literally, just like they got it on launch. They all just like unloaded at the top and they just rebought in and like reaccumulated and cornered supply. And I don't know, like I want to see if there's a big dump off, but potentially this could do well. I will say that. I will say, like, it looks like new Launchpad by Ansem. I think you might have found something, but I just don't know. I don't know if I want to say it on stream, at least not yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the price action just looks choppy. It just seems like it just looks a little too new pair, not red flag, but
it's
too high
new
risk
pair
for
red
the stream.
flagged, but 1.5 mil, it won't feel like new pair red flagged anymore. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
All right, we're just monitoring situations.
Yeah, that's all it is. We're just monitoring the situation. That's all it is.
I mean, you can't fade the guy. You can't fade him at this
Come on
point.
now.
This Ansem is, bro, it's 300 mil. 340 this hit. I mean, is he vamping pump fund? No. Well, not really, because the underlying infrastructure is still pump fund, though.
Yeah, no. I think all these fees will go back to like buying Ansem at the end of the day.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. He's like created a pump fund competitor here, just like in terms of what people are trading.
It's not a pump fund competitor though, because it's built on top of Pump Swap.
I know.
So it might take stuff away from Pump Fund's native like own built Launchpad, but this is built on top of Pump Swap. Man, why is everyone launching a Launchpad, bro? Oh gosh, like, can we just? I would like to.
I think that's just part of the progression of what it is,
Yeah.
We go through these cycles of, we test out utility and then something like, Robinhood launches and then, new ecosystem, go through that phase. Oh, launchpads. And then it's just, we're waiting for ideas. The market is totally rotating, looking for ideas, looking for capital come in. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier in the stream. Like it's going to be huge for us to just literally monitor like what are these bigger narratives that are forming right now. Like I see, like the gotcha theme is picking up a lot of momentum. I see like stockbroker style NFTs are picking up a lot of momentum. Obviously, you can't just like blindly copy stockbrokers, but I think that's a pretty interesting mechanic of how you can kind of incorporate token and NFT into the same project and they actually complement each other. I think that's a really new toy for teams and developers to play with. Um, and yeah, so I think like, this is gonna be a cycle built like purely off of euphoria. Like I think this will be like huge, huge, huge um wave that we create this cycle. I mean, all this stuff is so retail friendly, man. All this gotcha stuff, like all this NFT stuff that we're seeing is very retail friendly. And then you combine that with something like, social trading, whether it's FOMO or Pump Fun or, GG, the guys at GG or like wherever. So you add this social trading layer along with the exciting things that are being built on chain, and I think I think we get something pretty massive in my opinion. So yeah.
uh yeah, like here is the search terms for Ansem. Uh Obviously it went crazy when I wonder if this kind of does it. Here, like here's the I'm just gonna change my here's the search terms, here it is. Look, obviously Ansem, and then boom, this is like the coin launch, but it's right back to that low area. But the Ansem tokens held up quite well, and so
Yeah.
maybe this kind of gets another retail leg. Like this is a retail leg for sure, like outside crypto retail leg. I mean, how many people are going to Google who are on CT googling who Ansem is?
Right.
Not many, right? Not many. So if he can get another leg going here of trending, I mean, and the tokens already like near all-time highs or at all-time highs, that's notable for sure. Let's see on any difference. So we needed a celebrity. I think we needed a celebrity. This looks to be it.
Wait, this behemoth token I was telling you guys about, actually like price action on this ain't too bad. Guys, real quick, let me share my screen real quick. We were just talking about this. BNB does things like that. Um, so you have this token here. Not gonna lie, looking kind of nice. Looking kind of nice on the from a purely like chart perspective. Um, Purely chart perspective, this looks actually like kind of solid here. Real quick, I'm gonna copy the CA. Um, but this right here, super nice. This looks super nice on the chart. Volume about 10 mil in volume. Um, Binance Crime, perhaps. Like I know there's been some stuff going on Binance. So let me see if I can like drum up any alpha. Let's see, Sunday, Saturday. me see. Let's take a look. Any Oh my gosh. Okay, so it looks like some of the alpha on this behemoth token. The dev has 137 BNB to claim. It'll be gone in 4 days. In 4 days, it'll go back to a buy and burn. It'll go. So it's kind of like you have this, it's basically this decentralized CPU play made by like some crazy young guy. CZ has been interacting with it, has been liking, posts, commenting on posts and stuff like that.
Behemoth is it a meme token or is it a
I guess that's what we're trying to like decide is I guess that's what we're trying to I guess that's what we're trying to decide. Like, is it a meme play? Is it, you know, depending on I guess it just depends on what depends on, if the guy claims, it depends on, whether CZ like does something more with it, like chooses to help the guy build stuff, like but there's some like catalyst, I guess you can say ahead, whether he claims or not, depending on,
man, it would be awesome if CZ got more like into the trenches at this point.
Oh, bro, CZ's been in the trenches, dog.
I know, but
The
like
CZ playbook is he just kind of like plays like he doesn't know. He'll like soft shill things or he'll like things, he'll interact with things. But honestly, like I'll say it this way, like he's not even doing anything bad. Like literally what CZ is like has given like a lot of people like a nice little masterclass on like what you can do with your community. That's what you do. You engage with them, you interact
yeah.
with them, and then the trenches will do what they will do. You interact with somebody on the timeline, you say something funny, and then people will memeify it. Like that's like it's not something to be mad about or something to be concerned about or anything like that. It's just that's just what our space does. And if you don't like it, then you shouldn't be building here.
Facts.
Let me see here. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today though. Um I'm good to
Well, we have a new Launchpad, guys. That's it. I think that's the reality of crypto right now.
just launchpad after launchpad after launchpad.
What's cool about this Ansem IO is he has these he's doing the same thing Deck Screener has, active boost points.
Yeah.
Boosted. Let's see that. Click boosted. And you can see all the tokens that are boosted. It's just like it's fascinating. You can see when they're time, man, he's gonna be making crazy money on these. These boosts are not cheap.
Dude, check this, bro. Check this. He's creating the Z500, the first on-chain index is what he's calling it. We'll get the summary from Grok First on-chain index on Ansem.io. Apparently, he's saying it's not a launchpad, but we'll see. Letting teams airdrop token supply to Ansem holders and buy and burn Ansem to signal alignment to the network and community and climb the leaderboard. So I guess the more you buy and burn Ansem, the more you drop supply to Ansem holders, I guess the higher you'll be on this leaderboard. At least that's the impression I'm getting. Hold one coin and gain exposure to every successful runner in the trenches through automatic airdrops from joining teams. It brings transparency by requiring teams to stake value up front, selecting for long-term projects over opaque bundling and quick rugs. Crypto needs a trusted curation layer. Pump Fund solved creation, but not curation, with thousands of launches yielding almost no lasting winners. This flips the creator economy, so brands direct value to Ansem holders instead of paying KOLs who dump, productizing aligned marketing for quality teams. Okay. So essentially what he's saying is he is mobilizing the entire like Ansem community and Ansem network to say, hey, like if you want to get my attention or you want added distribution for your token, you can leverage Ansem holders, the Ansem community, and the Ansem token to where like Ansem.io, we can put you in the top 500. Like there's an S&P 500, we can put you in the Z 500. So that way you can gain exposure for your token by simply aligning yourselves with the Ansem community. And because of that, barrier to entry, I guess that could create, that could create a way for devs that actually want to build something to, get through that barrier, support the Ansem eco, and then receive support in return. At least that's how I'm reading it so far anyway.
Well, I think this was the manlet situation, is like everyone trying to build for Ansem, get attention, and then it's like, well, which teams are actually getting traction in that kind of pursuit? And this kind of index gives them a way to rank them against each other. I like the idea.
Yeah.
What's this? Like, there's like bullseye. What's this?
So I'm going to read a quick little recap of that. The Ansem launches Z500. It's not a launchpad. The launch feature on there is basically a plugin for Pump Fund that lets devs auto airdrop supply to Ansem holders. Unironically cool tech. You then take this as a reason to dump the stonk launchpad reason. Okay, anywho, I guess this is a huge headwind for at least people are treating it as a headwind for Stonk, because one of the main runners on Stonk was Mansem, the Ansem token. And so a lot of people have been using that as a reason to like basically like dump their bags or whatnot on Stonk. Not realizing that this isn't a launch pad. It's just a way to automate, being able to coordinate with the Ansem eco, like airdropping supply, buy and burning Ansem tokens. That's what it is. And again, we cannot show this this site right now. Cannot show this site right now.
It is cleaner though. They did get rid of the
I showed it earlier, but I'm not even gonna risk it. I showed it earlier, flashed it real quick.
It's good way for our YouTube account to get banned.
Exactly.
So TLDR on this. Oh wow. Okay, there are some of those that still got through the filter. Yeah.
So basically, like the way I'm seeing this is Z500 is the goal is to attract the best builders on chain, like the Squires of the world, like all the best tech that's happening on chain. Come bring everything that you have to the Ansem community. Airdrop your supply to our holders. Buy and burn Ansem. Really align with the Ansem network, and you will benefit from the tailwind of this eco. Will act as a tailwind for your project as well. So I think really what Ansem is doing, I think he's kind of building a creator economy around himself and still experimenting with how that could be successful. Like But I think we see the pieces though, right? We see the core, the curation layer, which is Z500. We then see which basically says, hey, best builders, come to the Ansem network. And what he's doing to attract those best builders now is to say, hey, now we're going to do an Ansem hackathon. So come to our hackathon, duke it out for the prizes. Best of you will likely align with the Z500, right? Like, so I think he's creating this sort of like economy that starts with attracting builders, giving them a way to align with the network and benefit from the tailwinds of it. And then kind of creating that loop of support. Now the community that supports Ansem will also support some of these tokens. At least that's the type of flow that he's trying to create. And then it all just kind of goes from there. It all just kind of goes from there. Z500 will basically kind of act as this go-to place for the best projects, on Solana, for the best projects building on chain. And so he's kind of building the place to go to for alpha on Solana. He's building an oasis is what he's building. I think that's really what it is. Just giving builders distribution, giving them a way of saying, hey, like, you can not only build something, but you don't have to do it all on your own and try to bootstrap attention on Pump Fund. You can still launch on PumpSwap, but like through this kind of automate your distribution access. So I think that's what he's building. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, the new creator economy is what he dubs it. Creator consumer relationships. This is the first real start of productizing this thesis with current creator consumer relationships. Brand pays creators money or equity. In return, creators promote a product and consumers buy that product, resulting in more revenue for the business. In this dynamic, consumer receives nothing. In this new meta, all consumers own stake in the creator's network by holding the associated token, in this case, Ansem. Now, instead of brands paying the creator money, brands are incentivized to direct value towards token holders, whether that is by buying and burning Ansem or by giving special perks to token holders in their business or protocol. This scales extremely well because the creator and consumer both are aligned, while a much larger number of protocols can permissionlessly market towards the network. Okay, I actually like that. This is a very cool, like that's what I was saying earlier. I didn't even read the article, and I said this is a cool creator economy he's building around himself, because just like he's running the same Ansem playbook. He ran the Ansem playbook by airdropping his supply to other people to maintain attention. He's now maintained a lot of that attention, and he's now using the same and saying this that to other founders that you can use that same playbook. But instead of airdropping to rando wallets, airdrop to the Ansem holders, and that's where you can multiply your distribution. So, so love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me today. I'm gonna go ahead and duck off. I got some trades I got to do, content I got to get out and stuff. So it's gonna be a busy week. Abe the Brave, dang, Ansem has sent my stonk port off the rails. I think people are overreacting. Still long stonk eco. Absolutely. Still long stonk. I don't think that this is a bad thing for stonk. I think this is just short term, like a headwind, because obviously Manlit was one of the bigger runners. So you get exposure to Ansem plus stonk in one asset. But now there's a completely different way to do it. And so people sold that off. But I still think that, stonk will go a lot higher. So not going to fade that entire eco. And we went through that entire eco earlier today. So you guys kind of know my thoughts on it. But excited to get into stream tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a few great guests coming on So you definitely want to look out for the stream tomorrow. Um, let me show you guys. I did a preview of the stream earlier, but I'll just do it one more time. Tuesday, 8:18. We have Motion coming on at 12:30, and then we have Hebu coming on at 1:15. Really
Hebu is Clanosaurus. So they so on this one they're doing a raise. We don't typically do ICOs where they're like pre-token or anything like that. But Solana and I think it's on what's it on? It's on Metaplex or something like that. Anyways, they're the guys that run that studio actually got like a streaming deal with like Amazon Prime and stuff like that. So they have like a real business. I don't know any details about the raise itself, so I think we'll find out some more about it. But click on Hebu Official, and I'm pretty sure that is Andrew Saar. Yeah, this is Clanosaurus, the entertainment launchpad for super friends, super fans. I'm assuming it's gonna say. All right, we're gonna find out. I think this is associated with Clanosaurus because they have the IP all over.
Yeah, the chief product
creative
officer is also CPO of Clanosaurus as well. I think this is a IP that they're tokenizing on their platform. So from a quick scan of this, they're basically like tokenizing real world IP, and fans can then come to their platform, I guess, to like, buy into it.
Yeah.
And maybe
Keep in mind
and stuff.
Yeah, we don't know much about this launch specifically, and we know nothing about the details and raise details. We just trust the people who've set it up for us. So we'll see. We'll get the details tomorrow. I mean, like if they're streaming on Amazon Prime, that's impressive. Like Clanosaurus went from an NFT IP, and that's had like few iterations, but those guys built like a studio and then built like a TV show and then did the kids Netflix, their TV thing, and that's taken off. They have like plushies and stuff. And there's like I watch the space a lot because I have kids, right? So I definitely am going to be on this one tomorrow and talk to them about it. But there's like, Blippi did a deal with Moonbug. Like they sell millions of dollars in physical toys just from a guy that's like, ooh, look at this motorcycle. Here's the engine. Here's the exhaust. Like it is what it is. They sell a lot of products. So anyways, I just think it's a really interesting, direct to consumer space. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyhow.
So excited for that tomorrow, guys. Outside of that, I'll see you guys in the Discord. For all of you who are Mr. Nice, I'm going to set you up with your Discord link as well.
I sent him.
You sent it to him
on from the MCG account. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Nice, if you're listening still, you should get that.
Did we get is Amp? I appreciate you retweeting the stream a bunch of times. You're like a consistent retweeter. He's in, right?
Amp, if you're not in, let's get you in. But he has retweeted you're in. Perfect. Bet. But yeah, we definitely got to get Amp in there. He's been consistently RTing the streams and stuff. So we'll definitely get him in. But all right, boys. Excited for the conversation tomorrow. Should be really nice. Should be a really nice conversation with Hebu. Looking forward to the rest of the week as well. Amp, we'll DM you. We'll DM you the link. Okay. Josh, can you DM him the link from MCG? You'll get a DM from MCG. Appreciate you, bro.
Well, make sure you DM MCG first, so I know who you are, and then I'll.
Just to make sure it's the right.
Make it easy on me, bro. Make it easy on me.
If you don't mind, Amp, just DM
for your handle.
Yeah, just DM the main the MCG main account, and then we'll get you sorted out. Will do. All right, bet. Perfect. All right, boys. Well, we'll see y'all in the Discord. And I'll see you on the timeline. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another great stream here at MCG. If you haven't already done so, please go to @MCG Live. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. We're here from 12. We're here at 12 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern time, every single day of the week. We've interviewed 600 plus founders, and we have been ahead of any major shift, any major narrative, anything that breathes on chain. We are typically on it. So just glad to be able to provide value. Be sure to follow the MCG Live account. See the pinned tweet here. Go ahead and hit like and retweet that as well. I know I'm shutting down the stream, but they can always go back and listen. They can always go back and rewind. Also, check out our latest interview with Shaw, the founder of A16Z, and get a sense of the entire story that went to being up millions of dollars to then getting, sued and losing money, and, kind of talking through that whole story, and then also taking a look at what comes next for Shaw. So go ahead and dig into that as well. I'll be finishing watching that over the next 30 minutes or so, because I'm about 55% through. Dom says that this is where it really gets exciting. He's crying. He's breaking down all the things that has happened to him. So super emotional, super solid episode. So check it out.
He starts crying for real.
Yeah, I think he gets choked up, gets emotional. And he said this is the spiciest interview he's ever done. So yeah, excited to see the rest of it. But all right, boys. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See y'all in the Discord. See you on the timeline. GG's.
Good luck out there. Be safe.
Boom, boom, boom.